I hope you all have a wonderful day today. Hopefully you have a great time with family, with friends, or even if you're celebrating alone, I hope you have a great time celebrating this Christmas holiday. So guys, with that said, today we have a guaranteed Gnishak event, which I'm going to get into a little bit my reasonings behind pulling because actually, I'll go ahead and show you, all right? I got a few copies of Gnishak. If you've watched my channel for a while, you probably already know that. I actually have 2 down here and then 1 over here waiting for a partner to go ahead and finish out my Faction Guardians and give me plus 10 speed to my Mighty Uko, as well as my Sun Wukong and my Leoris, and all my other good Skinwalker champions, which is actually quite a few. There's actually quite a few really good Skinwalker champions. Speaking of, I don't know what this owl even is. I guess I've been out of the loop so long that we've gotten a lot of brand new legendary champions that I have no clue who the owl even is. So maybe I pull him today, and if I do, hopefully he's pretty good. Speaking of the owl, though, I actually noticed that he is in this Hero's Path event as an avatar, which is kind of cool. This Hero's Path event is essentially a bunch of avatars. You can get the evil Sir Nick. I don't know if that's actually what he's called, but the evil Sir Nick looking dude. You can get the owl. You can get this abominable snowman, the fusion currently, as well as this tree dude who looks pretty cool. So I like that. I like that they're giving away, essentially, if you are opening shards today, you have the opportunity to get some avatars. Pretty cool. But if you're somebody who's on the fence about Gnishak, for me, it's basically, hey, I'm going to get some legendary champions hopefully along the way. I also need to work on some champions for Mikage fusion. Let's go ahead and see where that's at right now. I need this one champion right here. So Elisina, or however you say that name, if you guys see me pull her during this video and you think I missed it, let me know. Comment down below, spam it, because I need to remember that I get her, if I do get her, so I can actually go ahead and finish out fusing Lady Mikage. That's going to be awesome. Now, as far as if you should pull for Gnishak, I had a question yesterday on my Discord channel that was essentially asking, is a non-dupe Gnishak, his specifically was a 5-star Ascended one, worth more than $100 spent somewhere else in the game? So for me, the Daily Gem Pack is one of the best purchases. The Forge Pass is a very good purchase for most players. So right there, that's about $30. Now you can do that for a few months and you're going to get some good account progression. But a guaranteed Gnishak, if it was for $100, do I think it's worth it? So if you're a spender, I'm going to say probably yes. Like if you're looking to give yourself a Christmas gift, I think Gnishak is a very, very unique champion in the sense that he can solo Dragon 7 hard, which is what I use him for sometimes, along with some food champions. He's in Regeneration plus Immortal Gear. I don't know if this is the set that he does it with, but either way, he can solo Dragon 7 hard. He can duo Dragon 10 hard with Mithrala, which Dragon, to be honest, isn't a dungeon that I recommend farming a ton. So if that was the only reason, I wouldn't say go for him. However, he also opens up Bommel, essentially. If you've been somebody who struggles with Bommel and you have an Arbiter, if you have champions who can do increased attack, a Kymar even, then this is going to be an excellent champion to go ahead and get you through Bommel, even farming Bommel if you want to do that. But he's a very good champion in that regards. Now, also, the third place that I use him for pretty often, mostly in other people's accounts when I did takeovers, is 3v3. So Gnishak is unique in the sense that he can use his A3 ability first. He can place the bombs, and then, assuming he has enough accuracy to actually place those bombs, then the same turn, he just gets an extra turn from the A3 ability, he can actually decrease the detonation cooldown of the bombs by 1 turn, meaning he's placing a 2-turn bomb, reducing the cooldown by 1 turn, so the enemy takes a turn, and the bombs pop. That's very beneficial because now you have champions who, if they have a cleanse, well, they get their turn about to cleanse, but the bombs are going to pop before that, so they may actually die before they ever even get to cleanse the rest of the team, because cleansers are the #1 enemies against bomb champions, that and, I guess, massive shields. So if you're looking for a champion who can help you out in 3v3, who can possibly be some duo or solo content for Dragon for you, as well as helping you out in Doom Tower, I think Gnishak's a very solid champion. But also, I've actually used him a few times in the Cursed City, which, speaking of, I got a video actually coming out tomorrow with my first day in the Cursed City, essentially. And it's actually going to wish you guys a Merry Christmas there as well, because I thought that video was going to be today. But hey, I guess being wished a Merry Christmas twice, I guess there's worse things that could happen, right? So that video was planned to be released today, but essentially it's like, hey, we have a guaranteed Gnishak event. I would love to fill out my Faction Guardians, so I'm going to go ahead and open up some shards for that and pick me up an extra legendary. Oh, the wrong owl. I did indeed get an owl hawk thing. Matter of fact, that actually is kind of weird because look, now I have my goal complete. How do I feel about this? I really don't know. I don't know how to feel about this, to be honest. Let's continue. Because, to be honest, I don't really... Gnishak's a champion who I don't really need to have empowered like +2 or +3. I mean, I'm not using him at my level of arena. I think he's really good in the arena, but I don't think he's meta by no means. He's not going to be used in platinum necessarily. Maybe at one point in time. Had to cut the video there past some sneezes. Got a Vogoth though, so that's pretty good. I guess if you're VN Saber, you're missing a Vogoth, but nonetheless, the Cleopteryx pool, nice, but I don't really have any skinwalkers who I want to empower yet, though I guess having extra copies is always good because now I can actually empower somebody and not have to worry about it. So Cleopteryx, not really a champion I use, though I guess I could empower her if I wanted to, give her +1 or give maybe a different skinwalker champion +1 if I got a different one in the future. Maybe a champion like Sun Wukong. If I pulled a dupe of him, I'd go ahead and empower him. I would love to pick up a second legendary before the extra legendary. That would make this event very well worth it, in my opinion. Maybe a Harima or a Rhodos or something along those lines would be pretty sweet. Let's go ahead and skip past this. How many shards we got left? We got 100. We got 100 left to pull before we get the Gnishak. Which, speaking of, we got 220. I'll be guaranteed an extra legendary. I opened up Cleopteryx on the second 10 pull. So basically, if I was to purchase some gems, which I'll see. If I end up making it to 200 shards, which is something I recommend you guys consider as well, if you go 200 shards with no legendary, you have 20 more until you're guaranteed a legendary. It's actually better for you to save it for a 10x event that you actually want a champion for. So maybe a Rhodos, a Harima, or a Kaimar for me. There we go, baby. Picking up more. What? Another Skinwalker. I literally set out with a goal of getting Gnishak as a dupe Skinwalker, and now I've picked up 2 dupe Skinwalkers. The Uko pool is actually pretty good, though. I'm going to have to take a closer look at that one, because the Mighty Uko pool would actually allow me to +2 my Mighty Uko, which, like I was saying before I pulled that champion just now, the mercy system. If you're at close to 220, you know, hey, I'm going to get a legendary at 220. I'm 20 shards away. Well, I might as well save it for a good 10x event, because you know 10x events usually never actually get the champion you actually want anyways. But if you're so close, then hey, it's better to pull on a 10x versus continually pulling on a 2x where you got 20 shards, right? It doesn't really matter if you have a 2x or not. You're going to get a legendary. So better save it for a time that you're going to get a little bit better stuff, in my opinion. A little bit better odds at something better. Maybe a progressive event, a 15x or whatever they have going on now. Whatever they're doing nowadays. There we go, another Lego. An Elva. Dang, player. Okay, you're popping off with the legendaries today for me. Wow, that is crazy, crazy luck. Guys, I do want to warn you that this luck is insane, but that doesn't mean that's how your luck's going to be. Just a heads up. You could have terrible luck, though I guess you do get guaranteed Gnishak, and you're probably going to get at least one other legendary because you're going to 180 shards, which is quite a bit for a Lego. It's up to you to decide if you actually want to go for that or not. We have Elva, we have Uko, we have Cleopteryx, we have Gnishak. We have one other, right? Maybe it's just 4. Just 4. I'm happy with 4. Let's go ahead and finish up this last 10 pull here. Pick up a Gnishak. Maybe another one. Maybe a whatever champion I needed for the fusion. There we go. The last champion, Gnishak, Vermin Lord. So now, that was pretty crazy pulls. Let's go ahead and check out who I got. So I picked up copies of, total of, I guess, 5 legendaries. Wow. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so I got 4. I guess I was a little bit higher than what I actually thought. I was a little bit off. But we have Gnishak, Vermin Lord. We have Mighty Uko, Elva Autumnborn, who is a dupe for me, which is good because I need some dupes for Sylvan Watchers, right? We all do. I'm sure most people aren't full in Sylvan Watchers. So I have Emic dupe right now. Go ahead and put some Elva dupe in there. Elva's an awesome champion. I use her a ton. I take that back. I used to use her a ton. I use her a little bit less frequently now since I do a lot of solo content, but she was very good for duo content. But now as far as what we got going on with Skinwalkers, so I could essentially take out this Mighty Uko and throw in these Gnishaks, which the Mighty Uko is actually very, very cool because he's a champion, and this is kind of where I get into empowering champions. So at this point, I can actually empower some champions because I have enough faction guardians that I don't really want to empower a Gnishak, to be honest. I mean, empowering him doesn't really get me into anywhere that I can't already go, and I don't really feel like there's much need to do so. Cleopteryx, I don't use her in PvP. Ragash, possibly, but it's only a +1, so I'm not worried about empowering him. And then Brachus, not worried about that. So most of these champions here, I'm not worried about empowering. So that means any other dupe champion I pull, I could decide if I want to empower that champion or not, because any other one that's in Skinwalkers, maybe I use them in the arena. I really like to empower arena champions specifically because those are the ones where higher stats really matters. It makes a big impact. So you can see my Ray, my Hefrak, my Rhonda. Martyr is actually used in Fire Knight, so some areas like that make sense. But for Mighty Huko, if I was to go ahead and empower him, let's see what that would give me. So empower champions taken to +2 is actually debatable because at +2, you get an extra 10 speed, which is huge because I build him in stun gear plus high accuracy. So he's going fast, plus he's being able to strip the buffs and essentially place the stun. Stun doesn't need accuracy because it's from the stun set. But this would be an extra 25 accuracy, extra 25 resistance, helping me resist some of the polymorphs potentially, and then extra 10 speed. So the Mighty Uko currently is sitting at 320 or 317 speed essentially. If I empowered him, he'd be 327 with like 400 accuracy. I could definitely push up some more accuracy, but overall it'd be pretty decent stats, I believe. So maybe that is something I consider doing. He is a champion I use pretty often, and I may even swap out his masteries to have some more accuracy because that would ultimately be better for him if I use him a lot more in PvP. I don't use him too much in Hydra anymore, which is why he had War Master. So something to consider. Something I may actually go ahead and do. Let me know what you guys think down below. I really don't see any downside to empowering him. Like I said, I use him in PvP. I use him in Arena. I don't use Gnishak. I don't plan to use Gnishak. So finishing out the Faction Guardians, getting an extra Mighty Uko, actually pretty sweet. So I got a few Faction Guardians, Mighty Uko, as well as Queen Elva? Is that her name is? Or Elva? Why did I say Queen Elva? Queen Eva. Man, so rusty. Elva Autumnborn. She's not a queen. No queen involved. But she's an awesome champion. She is indeed an awesome champion. I use her in PvP. I use her in the arena some. All right, guys. So 4 legendary champions later, potentially +2 Mighty Uko. Pretty awesome, successful summoning session, I do believe. So I want to say again, Merry Christmas to all of you. I love you. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for all of your support. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your Christmas day, as well as the rest of the holiday celebrations throughout the end of the year. With that said, I'll catch you all in the next video.